In 1997, scientists recorded a sound in the Pacific Ocean so loud it could be heard 3,000 miles away. It wasn't a whale, it wasn't a submarine, and for over a decade, no one could explain what made it. This is the story of the Bloop, one of the most mysterious sounds ever captured from the deep ocean. Today, we're uncovering how this single recording sparked theories about giant sea monsters, attracted Lovecraft fans, and led to one of the most fascinating scientific investigations of the 21st century. Picture this. It's summer, 1997. Deep in the South Pacific, thousands of miles from any coastline, NOAA's underwater listening stations pick up something extraordinary. The coordinates? 50 degrees south, 100 degrees west. A remote patch of ocean west of South America, where nothing should exist. The sound lasts about 1 minute, but it's so powerful that sensors over 3,000 miles apart all detect it simultaneously. To put that in perspective, that's like a sound in New York being clearly heard in Los Angeles, underwater. These weren't just any listening devices. This was the SOSUS array, originally built by the US Navy to track Soviet submarines during the Cold War. By 1997, it had been repurposed to monitor volcanoes, earthquakes, and marine life. It was designed to pick up the faintest underwater whispers, but this was a roar. When scientists first played back the recording, sped up 16 times to make it audible to human ears, it had this almost organic quality, like a deep, haunting bloop. That's how it got its name. But here's what made it truly bizarre. The sound rose rapidly in frequency over its duration, just like an animal call. Except no animal on Earth could produce something this loud. We're talking about a noise orders of magnitude more powerful than a blue whale's call, the loudest animal we know. So what was lurking down there in the abyss? The mystery exploded into public consciousness in 2002 when CNN ran headlines about a possible deep-sea monster. Science magazines speculated about unknown megafauna, giant squids, prehistoric leviathans, creatures beyond our imagination. And here's where it gets even more intriguing. Lovecraft fans noticed something creepy. The Bloop's location was only about 1,001 miles from where H.P. Lovecraft placed the fictional sunken city of R'lyeh, home to the cosmic entity Cthulhu in his stories. Coincidence? Probably. But it sure added to the legend. Dr. Christopher Fox from NOAA said at the time, if it were an animal, it would be far more powerful than the calls made by any animal on Earth. Think about that. We're talking about something that would dwarf every known creature in our oceans. Remember, 95% of our ocean remains unexplored. The deepest trenches, the most remote waters, we know more about the surface of Mars. But scientists weren't just sitting around theorizing. NOAA's Pacific Marine Environmental Laboratory launched a serious investigation. Dr. Christopher Fox and his team weren't taking any shortcuts. As Fox later said, "We considered every possibility, including animal origin." They were methodical, scientific, and determined to crack this mystery. They deployed additional underwater microphones closer to Antarctica and began systematically recording every sound they could find in the Southern Ocean. This wasn't a quick search. It was years of patient listening, cataloging thousands upon thousands of underwater noises. Starting in 2005, something interesting happened. The team began detecting what they called icequakes, powerful sounds created by massive icebergs cracking and breaking apart. Not just a few, but thousands of them. The Southern Ocean, it turned out, was constantly rumbling with the sounds of ice in motion. The breakthrough came in 2008 when they tracked the complete acoustic breakup of iceberg A53A near South Georgia Island. This wasn't just any iceberg. It was massive, and as it disintegrated, their hydrophones captured every crack, every split, every thunderous moment. The sounds were eerily familiar, very similar to the original Bloop recording. Meanwhile, other researchers were publishing studies about cryogenic seismic noises. A 2008 study in the Journal of Geophysical Research documented seismic tremors from colliding icebergs. All the pieces of scientific literature were pointing in the same direction. Dr. Robert Ziak, who led much of the acoustic analysis, made the connection. The frequency and time duration characteristics of the bloop signal are consistent and essentially identical to icequake signals we have recorded off Antarctica. The pieces were falling into place, but it took years of careful comparison to be absolutely certain. By 2011, NOAA had their answer. The bloop wasn't a sea monster. It wasn't some unknown creature calling from the depths. It was ice. Specifically, it was the sound of a massive ice shelf cracking and breaking away from an Antarctic glacier. When played at normal speed, not sped up 16 times, it sounded less like a creature and more like what it actually was: the thunderous rumble of ice fracturing. The source was traced to somewhere between the Bransfield Strait and Ross Sea, regions known for intense glacial activity. In 1997, a huge chunk of Antarctic ice had snapped off, and the bloop was simply the acoustic echo of that violent event, traveling thousands of miles through the ocean. Dr. Ziak put it bluntly: the bloop was just an icequake, and the giant creature theory had been more fantasy than science all along. But here's what makes this story even more relevant today. As climate change accelerates the melting of polar ice, we're hearing more and more bloop-like events every year. The ocean is getting noisier with the sounds of our changing planet. What was once a complete mystery is now valuable data, helping scientists understand how ice shelves collapse and how our climate is shifting. The bloop turned out to be an early acoustic clue about the dynamic breakup of polar ice. NOAA continues monitoring these sounds with improved networks, turning mysterious rumbles into climate science. Every crack, every break, every bloop tells us something about Earth's changing environment. The bloop saga perfectly captures how science works, taking the unknown and mysterious, and through careful investigation, revealing the natural processes behind it. What seemed like evidence of a sea monster was actually evidence of our planet's most powerful geological forces. But the ocean still holds countless mysteries. What about the unexplained structures found on the sea floor, or the strange lights captured by deep-sea cameras? The deep ocean continues to surprise us. Check out this video next to see what other secrets lie beneath the waves that scientists still can't explain.